It's all you've got to do. You do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. When your carpet smells fresh, your room does too. Every time you vacuum, remember what to do. You do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. It has been an absolutely glorious day today. It's been quite warm, which has been handy because I wanted to defrost some milk. And because I've got enough for tea now, I'm going to put it in the fridge because I don't want it to defrost that quickly. So it's been a beautiful day. Warm. Oh look, I bought a tray. The only thing is, it's got branding on the side, which is slightly off-putting. But anyway, what I was saying, it's been a beautiful day today, and I have done absolutely nothing. Well, not nothing. I went to the laundrette this morning, and then this afternoon, I was going to go down the homestead. But then a friend from school called in and we had a few hours of catching up, and that is a lot better than pulling weeds. And he brought some of his honey. And this one, he said, is a fairly new honey, and this one he's had for quite a while, and you can tell there's a difference in the colour. So what I'm going to do is gonna have a little taste. Right, I've got my honey stick, so let's try this one. Right, let me try the bottom end because I don't want to cross-contaminate. Nice and smooth. It's weird. You can taste the Rhondda valleys in that one. And then this one. This is one that's slightly crystallized. It's a bit more heavier than that one. Oh, you can certainly feel the sugar content more in that one, but I prefer this one that he's had for a while. Now, the big question of the day: do you keep them in the fridge or do you keep them in the cupboard? What would you do? I'm going to keep them in the cupboard. And this is the one I'm going to use first. So I'll pop that at the front. So it's been quite nice just to have a relaxing afternoon talking about the old school days and talking about life in general. Because the last few weeks I've been feeling a bit out of sorts a bit. I'm just about to clean the cooker. And I haven't been able to put my finger on why I've been feeling this way. Maybe it's a bit that life in the valley is becoming a bit samey. But I was thinking about this last night. When I was in London, I didn't used to go into town that often. But I think for the fact that it was there on the doorstep meant that I could. And maybe I'm just feeling a bit restrictive in what I'm doing here. And my motivation has gone over the last few weeks. It was nice to have that little trip to Tembe. And when I came back, oh, The Archers belongs to. That's a radio show. And when I came back, I thought I would be back to normal type thing. But I'm not. So I don't know what's going on. So my get up and go has got up and gone. So I'm thinking maybe what I need to do is to go back to London for a few days. And maybe just being in the hustle and bustle for a short visit will be enough for me to appreciate what I've got now. It's quite difficult being self-employed because you need to have the discipline of getting up at a certain time and doing things to a certain schedule, whatever that schedule is. So I feel like I'm going through a bit of a funk at the moment. So who knows? Maybe in a few weeks I'll go to London for a visit. I don't know. But it's a beautiful day today, and it's just been nice chatting to a friend on the doorstep in the glorious sunshine, watching the world go by. So I'm going to make some dinner. The other thing that's been a bit off as well in the last few weeks is my food. I put that weight that I lost, I've put a bit of it back on again, and I think that could be affecting me. And I just need to get back into that frame of mind again of counting my calories, eating at a certain time. But when you've stopped doing it, the worst thing, the hardest part is to restart it. Once you've restarted it, it's perfectly fine then. But sometimes starting the car is the hardest part. It's a bit like those old cars, you know, where you used to go in the front and go vroom, vroom. A bit like that. Sometimes you kickstart the car twice and you think, oh, I can't be bothered. And also, because the cats have been ill, that hasn't helped. But last night, all of a sudden, they seemed to jump back into life. And they seem to be back in their schedule. So, who knows, maybe the moon is in the wrong place. So I'm going to have sausage. I've noticed the one thing this could have affected it. I haven't done a proper shop for a while. I've just gone down the shop, bought whatever I've seen there. So, you know, I'm not eating the top quality food. I am with them, well, Cyril the Butcher's now closed. So I need to find out where I can get some quality meat. But I haven't had any of that kombucha stuff. So I haven't been looking after my gut. And I've had quite a few tins of things as well. So next week I am thinking we will go to the market in Aberdare. It's an hour away. But if I had a car, it would only be 20 minutes. So that's another thing. Should I buy a car? And what type of a car? What is the cheapest car to get? I've never owned a car before. I can drive, but in all the jobs that I've needed a car, they've just rented one in. So I feel as if we're just entering the new phase. That's Ice Cream Man. But the problem is, if I was to take you out there, by the time I'd go there, he'd be gone. That's why I call him the healthy Ice Cream Man. Because by the time you get out, he's gone. So yes, the honeymoon period of living in the valleys has gone, I feel. And now we're shifting to the next phase of actually living here. I've got involved with a few projects. Not too many though. Because after all, the whole plan was to come back and do a garden. And I need to get on and do that. But if you've watched this channel for any length of time, in fact today is 12 years since I set up this channel, you will know that I much prefer being in a garden in the autumn and winter and spring. Summer, I've got no interest in it. Now, I was going to make food, but I've just realised I haven't got any potato. Oh no, I've got sweet potato, that's fine. There you go. That sweet potato is a lot healthier than a normal potato. Now, when you use raw milk, you find you get quite a bit of cream on top. Ah, beautiful. So yes, a bit of a funk going on at the moment, but once I lose a bit of weight again, I'm sure the energy levels will come back. So it's nothing to worry about. And now that Cyril the Butcher's gone, I won't be getting my pasties. Because his pasties, there was something about them. Tasted better than all the other pasties in the valley. Oh, nearly lost that then. I am promising myself that we will go for a walk up to the waterfall. In the next week I want to do it, because time is certainly changing and autumn will be upon us very soon. Now the big old question, autumn for me is always around the 22nd of each month. This year it's the 22nd at 1:43 p.m. But for some people they say it's September the 1st. So where do you sit in the old equation? When is summer for you? Because I've been watching people on the TV today and they've gone, today is the last day of summer. Well, apparently we're having a heat wave in the next few days, which will be very nice to experience. The advantage of having a car is that I can go out and do more of those trips to places such as Tembe. Because I would love to go back to Tembe during the winter just to see how quiet the place is. And also there are many other places like the Gower. That's a beautiful place. Take you up to mid Wales and even up to the north. Now I was talking to Rick Van Man and I mentioned this about a car. And he said, why didn't I look into getting a van and actually doing the van up so that I can go, say, to West Wales and sleep in the van for the night, and then I'm there ready for the sunrise. And there are a lot of advantages to that, because then I could make my own food. I wouldn't have to rely too much on buying food out. So it would help with the diet. I'm just thinking aloud now here. And he did mention a place where I could go and have a look, which just seems to be in the next valley. I think it was a Sprinter van he mentioned, because I want something where I can stretch out on. So it's all options. All options for the future. And I knew this was going to happen. That the honeymoon period was going to be for 6 months or so. And then I would have to sit down and have a rethink. Right, I think we will have sweet potato chips. I'm just thinking it's a beautiful evening tonight. Maybe if I can cook this and eat it by 8 o'clock, might... Although the problem with going out tonight is the gnats will be out. But is that just an excuse that I'm making? I think my knife's getting a bit blunt. Yeah, so hopefully the cats are on the turn. My mattress will be back. Not my mattress. My duvet will be back in a few days, smelling nice and fresh from the laundrette. Because the problem I've got in this house is I can wash the clothes and put them on the line. But if it's a cold day, or like we've had over the last few weeks, been a rainy day, then the clothes are never going to get dry. So another thought that I've had in my head is, do I buy a tumble dryer? Now, I mentioned this on my Facebook page the other day. Links are in the description below. And a few people said, rather than buying a tumble dryer, buy an airer. And the pictures I've been sent is of a machine where it looks like it takes up a bit of space. So I might have to rearrange the box room. But it's like a clothes horse. But there's two. There's one with a fan at the bottom, which I don't like the idea of that for some reason, because something might fall on top of the fan and block it. Or it's like a clothes horse with heated bars, and you put a cover on top. And then when you zip up the cover, it then dries the clothes. So I'm thinking either one of those or a tumble dryer. And at the moment I'm inclined to think of one of these stand-up heated clothes horses, because it'll take up less, well, it'll take up more space, but I have a designated room with all my clothes where it could go in. Although I remember somebody saying in the comments that if I do get one of them, I need to open the window a bit, just to let the condensation out, which is fine in the room that I've got it. I can leave the window open without the cats getting out during the winter. See, my mind is already thinking to the winter ahead and bills. There's always something, isn't there? Right, pop that on. Pop the little timer on. And I think I'm going to have some sausage. I'm also trying to find a piece of rope to hang around my neck. Something I can put this microphone on to stop me from having to do this all the time for when the microphone goes in a funny shape. So yes, it's all about going on to the new stage. Right, we'll have that sausage. And what else do we have? We have another sausage here. I've come up with a bit of a technique for defrosting my sausages. Right, we're going to have 2 or 3. All I do is I take them straight out of the freezer, pop them into the saucepan, then I put a lid on top. And I put them onto step number 2. And I leave them on that until about 5 minutes before I'm going to dish up the food. Then I'll whack the heat up, not too high, about number 4. I had a very nice cowl the other night, made with lamb steaks. It was very tasty, very sweet. As we're getting into that season now of making my broths, I need to make a hot pot. Oh, I forgot. I've got I've got an empty box in the fridge, in the freezer. There you go. I've got one of those salmons, and that worked out really well. So I'm going to do that again. Right, hold on. Get a few green beans in there. Now this counting calorie lark, I'll start tomorrow. And there we go. At some point I need to go through the freezer because there's so much fruit in there. I need to start to use it. Start thinking about Christmas. Right, and we pop the veg in there on number 3 and everything is sorted. Oh, just remembered I've got some washing out on the line. Come on, let's go and get that in. One thing, just before we go into the garden, I bought these and they turned up today. This is a pelargonium. And the other one is a auricula, which I do like the look of these. I've never done them before. And I like the idea of doing like what the Victorians did and was building a auricula theatre to show them off. So I'll give them a bit of water when I come back. These are for, well, that's definitely for the house. And I'm going to try and grow the auricula as a houseplant. But I thought what I could do with that, if it doesn't get on with being in the house, then I could set something up outside the window and have a little auricula theatre there. And in fact, talking about that, quite a few of you have given me an idea through my Facebook page of putting a piece of plastic across the top here. So covering all this. And the suggestion has been to put a washing line up to hang the washing. But let me just reframe this shot because I want to show you something. I think the camera makes this area look a lot bigger than what it is. So if I just come and stand at the end, although now that I'm stood here now, maybe it is a bit bigger than I thought. But look, you can't put your hands out. If I stand against the wall and stretch, I can touch the wall. So it's not that big, but maybe big enough for 2 pieces of cord to put clothes on. And then put a cover on top. So it becomes a bit of a laundry greenhouse room. But I noticed this morning, it only gets the sun until about 11 o'clock. So maybe that's not enough for drying my clothes. And down this side, even though I could put a few more rows of rope and have about 3 or 4, this bit doesn't get sun. But I could cover, but I don't want to cover the whole space. I think it's quite nice sometimes just to come out and stand in the rain. Right, let's go up into the garden. I need to spend time here as well. I've been liking the idea, look at the andirrhinums there. I've been liking the idea of next year possibly just filling this with dahlias. And maybe even the same variety. Look at these daisies. They've done really well. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe just fill the whole thing with dahlias. Ah, look at that. That foxglove has established itself really well. Okay, foxgloves and dahlias. I must close that window upstairs. I opened it just to get some air to blow through. because I do believe in giving the house a good blow. Look how clear the sky is. That says to me tonight could be quite chilly, even though it's been a warm day. No clouds in the night means a chilly night, so maybe it's time for a hot water bottle. Well, I enjoyed a beautiful bit of lunch, but I fell asleep straight afterwards, and I've woken up now and it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to go straight off to bed. So I'll catch you in the next one. So from me, Amber and Topsy, bye for now.